This video, I'm going to be sharing with you how to deliberately create your own reality. Not just I'm kind of going to create my reality, not just I kind of hope if something happens. Nah, like actually create your reality from a very powerful place. Welcome back to another video. My name is Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. On this video, I'm going to be sharing with you exactly how you can create your own reality. Now, this is going to come from a understanding of how to not only deliberately create your own reality, but how also to let go at the same time. And what is that delicate type balance? What's that pinnacle of right in between, where when we start to do it, it's like amazing things begin to happen. Now, an important part of this to understand, though, is the role of the ego. Because if the ego has to deliberately create everything, then it's almost like the ego is carrying around all of this luggage. It's carrying all of this around. It's like, I got to make everything happen. It's almost like then we start to, many times with the law of attraction, become really over-identified with the ego, thinking that the ego has to do absolutely everything. That was me for a long time too. Still is sometimes, not going to lie. Sometimes what happens is I'm taking action, doing things, something goes a little bit wrong, and then my ego starts to freak out. It's like, oh, why is this happening this way? It's supposed to go along to this blueprint in my mind. It's not happening exactly the way that I thought. And I got to kind of put my ego in check. And I got to be like, yo, just chill out, bro. And then what I do is I just kind of put it back into the present moment. I start to trust the universe, and things start to happen a lot easier. So it's about this delicate balance of the ego and what is called the higher self. So it's a larger space of awareness of who we are. And I find that the more that I connect to that, and the more that I balance this out, that everything begins to change. Now, what I'm also going to be talking about in this video is, in a way, looking at some probable type ways that reality exists the way that it does. It's like reality, kind of like a rainbow. It's like reality and the way that it exists in the form of understanding some possibilities that what if reality is a type of dream. Ooh, type of dream. It's kind of it's a different idea. But nonetheless, if we start to understand that there's more flexibility in our reality that we priorly thought, then what happens is we start to gain more ability to have it become malleable. Reality is not very malleable when we look at it and we're like rigidly thinking that this is the way things are. But when we see it more as a probable type place of maybe we are in a way dreaming in our life experience. But really soak in this idea. I encourage you to, because the more I do this, the more things become flexible in my own life. We go to bed at night. We may have some dreams. We may look at these dreams and we may go, whoa, these are some pretty cool dreams. Maybe they're not so cool dreams. Maybe you're like, oh, this is not a good dream. This is kind of a nightmare. But whatever it is, you wake up in the morning and you go, oh yeah, this is who I am. This is where it's at. And we assume that there's this big separation between that of dream state and awake state. Now, what if, in a way, life is like a dream? Life is like a dream. It's just a very long, consistent dream that we can look back into the past and go, oh yeah, that happened. It's got some form, some thread of connectability between the past, future, and present. Or at least that's from our perception. So therefore, because of that, we're able to see the consistency, so we buy into it more. But there's a quote that I heard from Elon Musk, and it made me think. He said, the chances that this is the baseline reality, that what we experience is the baseline reality, is probably less than a fractal of a percentage. What does that mean? Well, think about it like this. We're getting close. We're getting close to almost, with virtual reality, being able to put on some little goggles. We put on some goggles, we look around, and what do we see? We see some other reality. Have you ever worn one? I remember my cousin brought over a PS4, or whichever one it was, and we had this VR type stuff. It was expensive, so I know this might be 2 years ago. But it was pretty cool. You put this on and you're watching it and you're looking around, and first off, you feel like you're there. Second off, what you do is, we were doing this one where we were underwater. I was like underwater, and I was seeing like fish float by, or swim by, do their thing. And I was inside this like cage that was going down, and there was like light, and it was very real. And there was a shark that came by, and the shark kind of scares you because the shark kind of goes by, and then what it does is it comes up close and it takes a bite out of the cage that you're in. And you look down and it like tilts, and you look down and you could see like 100 feet down. Now this is a game. This is a virtual reality thing you're wearing, but you start to get scared. Your brain doesn't know the difference between what it's imagining and what's actually happening. And it made me realize in that moment that, wow, this feels very real. I remember walking on this cage. I walked over to the edge and was looking over, and I literally felt like I was going to fall over. Like it was, have you ever seen, there's a video on YouTube too of this dude that's like in the middle of the store playing, and he's like climbing up the this mountain. He's like doing some rock climbing thing, and then he just falls down, and when he falls down, he just falls down in real life too. And the workers are like helping him up and stuff. But that's like how real it can feel. But what if this? What if life in a way was a form of virtual reality? It's a consistent one. It's very consistent. We can look back and go, oh, that's who I was in the past. Oh yeah, that's what I may be like in the future if I keep going down this path. But what if life is like a dream? And what if at the end of our life we wake up from this dream of life and we go, oh yeah, this is who I am. I thought I was this person for such a long time. What if, in a way, it's not necessarily relevant that we remember what we do at night when we go to bed? What if at night when we go to bed, we wake up in a higher level of consciousness and a higher level dimensional type understanding, type flexibility? But if we were to remember those higher dimensions, here, it might not be that relevant. Because what if, just what if in these higher dimensional realms, this higher level of consciousness, you felt unconditional love. You felt unconditional love, and not only that, but you had this ability to connect to whoever you wanted to connect to, past, future, present. You had these abilities that you don't have now. And then you come back here and you see duality. Ooh. You see like the news, bad, good, things scary. And then you're like, if you did know that, you'd be like, whoa, I don't want to go back there. I don't want to stay here. I want to go back. That's why a lot of people with NDEs, near-death experiences, say, it was amazing, but I had to come back. I didn't want to come back, but I had to come back. Why is that? Because people reconnect to a higher level of themselves. They may use different ways of understanding that, but nonetheless, it's a very interesting idea. Because what if this is kind of like a dream? If this were a dream, how much more ability and flexibility would you have? Because you wouldn't be giving it so much importance. You still enjoy it, still experience it, but you don't take it at the baseline reality like, oh, everything's so solid, everything's so in the way that it is. It would break up the seriousness of reality. I believe that life is like a game, almost like a video game. It's almost like we've logged into this game of life. One of the purposes is to become aware that you are more than your avatar. You are more than the character. You may have forgotten that. That's one of the purposes of life. We forget that, and really we could say we don't forget it as babies, but then we get conditioned to forget it. So at a certain level, we forget that that's who we are. And part of the game of life is to remember who we are at a greater sense. To remember we are not just the avatar. There is also a higher self who is guiding the avatar. We still have free will, but there's a certain level of guidance that's involved with it. And when we start to remember this connection, we gain another ability. It's almost like Mario with the mushroom. And then it's like boom, 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 just gets bigger. More ability. You see what I mean? So it's about having this type of awareness, because then things become much more flexible. Now here's another thing. Think about this. You go to bed at night, you have a dream. Have you ever had a lucid dream? How cool is a lucid dream? Maybe you've never had one, maybe you have. A lucid dream is when you're in a dream and you kind of remember that you're dreaming. Most people have had at least 1 or 2 experiences of this. I think lucid dreams are dope because you're like there, you're dreaming, and then all you say, oh yeah, I'm dreaming. I could do whatever I want. I could fly. I could talk to anybody. I could just appear wherever I want. It's a very cool experience. How much more flexibility do you get when you are then lucid in a dream? Because you are aware that it's a dream. Well, think about this. You become aware, you become lucid in life, which means you become aware of your thoughts. You then become aware of the correlation between what you think, what you experience. This correlation. You become aware of this correlation. And when you become aware of this correlation, you then have more conscious control. But it's not just from the ego, because the ego loves that. I mean, the ego would love to control everything. The ego wants to be like just shooting manifestations out of their hands. You know what I mean? Just like wherever I want something, just make it appear. But that's the ego. So it's about balance. It's about not just, adhering to the ego. The ego always wants to feel like more, to feel more self-worth. What I do is I balance it with the ego's job is to focus in a certain direction. That's the way I view it. Then there's the higher self connection, me connecting to my heart. And that's what I do is I focus on this higher self connection. I let go when I find myself resisting. And I go right in the middle of that. I go right in the middle. And I use that in the direction of what I want to experience. So it's a little bit different type way that I go about it. But here's the main idea of this whole video. The more consciously aware you become of the correlation between what you're thinking to what you experience, the more deliberate intention you can have. The more you can deliberately create your own reality. So it's about becoming aware of that, but then also breaking up your belief patterns about the rigidity of reality itself. Because if you give so much importance to the way that things are, then what you'll find is you create things being very solid, unmovable, not malleable. But if you start to see that in a way life is like a dream, it's similar. You are an immortal spiritual being having a temporary human experience. You're so much more than you can imagine. And because of that, you may have decided to come here. And I think we all decided to come here because right now it's a transformation on the planet. I think right now a lot of us are becoming aware that we're in this together. That the only separations we create between each other are that in our mind. The labels that we create. Say, oh, I'm this person, you're that person. That's convenient. But at a deeper level, we're all connected. And we agreed because right now there's a transformation happening. That's just what I believe. That's just, we're waking up. We're becoming more lucid in the dream of life. And we're realizing, hey, why are we going to fight each other? Why don't we just love each other? Why don't we just realize we're all connected? It's just like a higher level of awareness, this higher level of connection. But nonetheless, being deliberate in your life is about being aware of what you are experiencing in your life, the correlation between what you think, what you feel, and what you're experiencing. And the more you become aware of that, the more everything in your life will begin to change. So what I do is I set intentions every day. I set intentions for certain things to happen. I line up my action with my intention and emotion. That's what I meant to say. I line up my intention and my emotion, which has this connection to my heart, and I move forward with doing and being the kind of person that I prefer to be. But the more I realize that life is like a dream, the more amazing things happen. It's a very empowering thing. It's not scary. Oh, it's a dream. The ego might think it's a little bit scary because it's like, oh, it's a dream. It's not. That's going to be the voice for the ego from now on. Oh, it's kind of like, yeah, never mind. But yeah, the ego gets scared because it wants certainty. Be comfortable with uncertainty. The more you step into the unknown, the more you can create a greater degree of change from what you are experiencing to what you want to experience. Don't be afraid to step into that. Because the more you do, the more you scramble the expectation. When you scramble the expectation, more amazing things can happen. If you think the same thoughts every day, you get the same results every day. You take the same action every day, you get the same results every day. You feel the same emotions every day, you get this. You see what I mean? So it's about being aware of that and then deciding to change it. Being deliberate is this balance of the ego to that of the higher self. Letting go, focus. Letting go, focus, doing that, but having this understanding and breaking down what is true. Understanding that life is much more flexible than you priorly thought. Soaking in the idea that what if, just what if, I'm not, everything I share on this channel, it's just the way I think about things. It's these ideas that I think can kind of mix up the way that you see the world so that you can become more of who you are. But find out for yourself. I'm not like trying to get you to believe this. Try it for yourself. Because when I did this, it changed a lot. I became more flexible. I became more aware, first off, of the correlation between what I'm thinking and what I'm experiencing. Then what I did is I broke down my belief in the seriousness of life. I realized that life is like a dream. And because of that, it makes it a lot easier for me to see how malleable things are. In the same way that I wake up in the morning from a dream and I go, whoa, that was a cool experience. But this is who I am. I believe that at the end of our life, we may wake up as a higher dimensional version of ourselves. Maybe we're glowing with light. Maybe we can fly anywhere. We can manifest instantly. Maybe that's who we really are. We wake up, we go, whoa, that was a crazy dream. But this is who I am. Just saying, that's what I think might happen. It's a possibility. So, like I say, if you want a way, though, to manifest fast, you got to raise your vibration. Raising your vibration is one of the best ways to increase your ability to manifest what you want, because you start to create from a higher level paradigm. So what I've done is I've created a meditation that will help you to raise your vibration, to help you to create from this higher level paradigm, and it's absolutely free. You can download it in the top of the description box below, and it will help you to create what you want in your life. It will help you to raise your vibration. I recommend you listen to it for 21 days to get the maximum benefit out of it, and I think it will change your life. So top of the description box below. I'm also going to be doing more on Instagram Live, IGTV. I'm now doing daily on both of those as well. So if you want more content, if you're like, yo, YouTube's cool, but I want more of you. I don't want just YouTube, Aaron. I will say it's a little bit more raw in IGTV. A little bit more raw, a little bit more personality, a little bit more of me. So if you want to check that out, boom. Boom. And I will see you guys on the next video. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to like this video if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the little notification here so that you can see the daily vids that I do. And other than that, as always, peace, much love, and namaste.